All right, thank you. Welcome everybody to our non-official meeting so far. So I just got that, Pam. So I haven't had a chance to look at that. That's down far on our agenda. So we're gonna pass on doing any official business such as approving minutes from last meeting or anything like that. But just going down the list on the agenda, I've got I think the first one's for you, Mari, on recycling. I had question mark purchase return containers for hard to recycle items. And you had some, oops, sorry, hold on. Yeah, so I don't know what you wanted to do on that because you had wanted to do that and then thought maybe better of it. So where do you stand
Well,
on
I
that?
feel like this is like a little bit of the challenge with recycling drive is that, we get an idea to collect something new and then approve the purchase of it. And then, oh, we found somewhere that is collecting, like, for instance, the chip bags. That was what we were looking at purchasing.
Oh, right.
And then since I said, oh, maybe we'll just opt out of buying the box and drop the chip bags at the location that will collect them, BIC canceled their program. So they're through TerraCycle, they're no longer collecting the pens and markers. So that's a huge item we collect boxes and boxes of. So now it's like in a matter of 2 weeks, I'm thinking, let's not buy a box to collect chip bags, but let's buy a box to collect pens.
Right.
So I think I should go back to the drawing board and see what the most inclusive box would allow us to collect and see what would be, for lack of a better word, the most sustainable for the recycling drive, because we want to try to keep the list consistent, non-brand specific, just items. But if we have nowhere to bring pens, and April and Renata and I kind of Googled a little bit and didn't find anything. Like Crayola stopped their program, BIC now is stopping their collection. So maybe that's something worth buying a box. Maybe it's a box that we can put pens and chips in. But maybe we won't add K-cups. Sorry, go ahead.
Then what would happen to the box?
So it's a paid box. You put in whatever items they allow you to put in and you send it back to TerraCycle. So up till now, any of the items we send back to TerraCycle are under their free program. So I just box them up. Mary just dropped me off a bunch of Amazon boxes. I print the labels and it's free shipping back to TerraCycle. But, we kind of get tons of these chip bags because people mix them into the plastic film. So I was trying to, find a place for those. And it looks like REI, the store in Milford, they have a TerraCycle box there and they've never said no to me for the amount I've brought. So I'm kind of hesitant to buy something just for those items, off the record here. But I would be, inclined to buy a box that we could put pens and markers too, and chip bags, or just the pens. So why don't I do a little research, and between April, Renata and I, maybe we'll come up with a proposal for the next meeting to vote on.
Yeah, my suggestion would be that you should have an annual budget amount that we vote on as a group that will enable you to continue to do what you're doing, because it's a pretty big deal. Those, especially the markers, I know you get a boatload of those. And rather than every time, having to hit a speed bump, we should just say, we're collecting X amount of money with the NIPS. And you need $200 a year or whatever the number is, and make that a line item thing that's just yours to use as you see fit. And then if we vote on it,
that would be great. Let me see if I can come up with a number and see if the group's in favor of that. I mean, yeah, and because I think the key is we're gaining momentum by the minute, particularly since the transfer station has started giving out the list to participants. I mean, I think everybody's really cohesive in town with the program, and I would hate to be changing the collection list all the time haphazardly because of, small budget constraints. I agree, Pam.
I mean, another thought, and obviously we can't make it official business here.
That sounds like a good idea.
But another thought would be to make ourselves a 501c3, which we kind of danced with many meetings ago. And we can accept donations from people who want to help us with our mission. But we would have to go through the motions of doing that, which would mean, and I'm working on it for 1,000 Trees for Trumbull, but I'm kind of stopped right now because I need I need to incorporate 1,000 trees for Trumbull so that we can get donations, and I don't know how to incorporate. So there's certain gyrations you have to go through in order to become a 501c3. It's not insurmountable, but then if we want to take donations at your recycling drive or at the farmer's market or anywhere else, any other kind of event, and then we're freed up to do things that we want to do without having to beg.
Right, right.
Well, technically, we can take donations now. We just have to tell people we're not a 501c3. You're just giving money to this organization, right? For us to do these certain things.
But can we, because then who do we give the money to? We're giving it to the town, a budget?
Well, we'll just have to keep track of it, and then I don't know how we track it now. Honestly, we get money from NIPS, I guess, but
yeah, but I don't think that money is ours, specifically ours.
No, but somebody said that we get to use it. I really don't know how that works. We would probably need Mary here to discuss this, and
well, it's all good thoughts.
yeah, we'll kick it around next time for sure. Yeah, becoming a 501c3 isn't easy. You need somebody who really knows what they're doing to make that happen. So, good lawyer.
I got halfway there. I just need to know, like, what is the right way to incorporate. Getting the identification number from the state of Connecticut literally took me a day. That was the easy part. So, but like Cheshire, I think is a 501c3, Sustainable Cheshire, and they get donations, and then they have money, and they have they buy plants for Pollinator Pathway. Like, they do all kinds of things with that.
Yeah.
So is Wilton Go Green. So is Sustainable Westport, and they work very closely with their towns. They just, like you said, have a different set of books, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you're completely independent from the town once you're a 501c3.
Which is a nice ring to it.
It'll be like the Nature Center, where there's a nature commission, but there's also patrons of TNAC, which is a 501c3 based on the commission. We would be like the commission is a town entity, and then we'd have a 501c3 that's separate.
Got it.
Which there'd be tons of overlap, and one of them would end up not doing anything, and the other one would do everything, which is what happens at TNAC too. So we'll think about that. All right, moving on. If we are, then somebody had mentioned, was it Mary, talking about getting trying to do something for glass recycling where we'd have bags with logos on it, maybe our logo on it, and suggest people use that to collect their glass.
They have a bag program.
Yeah, right.
I don't know who makes them, but Stop and Shop has I don't know if it's monthly, and it's not even every month, but they put up signs at the registers that this month we're sponsoring the Joe Schmo bag, and money collected for that bag goes to the organization.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have to be a 501c3. Who would give money if they knew it was going to the town?
Right. So do they have bags though that have like little separators that could keep the glass from smashing into itself and breaking?
I don't know. I guess you could.
That's the
make
key
that
for bags for glass.
I don't know.
Bag's kind of lightweight for glass. I use a bin, and I mean, I fill it so quickly. But
yeah,
like a grocery, sorry, like a laundry basket material, plastic. Yeah, maybe Mary has some specifics she can share next time.
Yeah.
Good idea. I'd pass.
All right, we'll pass on that then. And then the food scrap, the RWS program. Again, Mary had said something, I don't know where you are on this all, Pam.
I know that RWS is coming to April's
Richard says he can't come. There we go.
RWS is coming to April's event at the library on Thursday evening next week. And
what is that event? Which event is that?
Composting. Let's Talk Dirty.
Oh, Let's Talk Dirty. Okay. Yeah.
And then I was gonna come to that event and ask him if he wanted to come to the farmers market when we have our sustainable tables. Maybe he'd like to come or bring stuff that I can hand out.
Yeah, they seem very interested in working together. It's great.
Yeah. Well, I think they have the opportunity to make business, do some business. So,
And their program is cheap compared to curbside compost. He was
Yeah.
$32 a month or $9.99 a month.
yeah, it's a deal. I think I end up doing it. My home composter doesn't really work.
Excuse me.
All right, so that's good. Anything else? There was something else that Mary was saying about I don't remember what it was, but we'll get back to it, I guess. She's not here. And then the Bay State bins, I guess those things just keep overflowing because there's more throughput, I guess. Because they were,
Last time, I think Mary said that they were shorthanded in drivers.
yeah, but then it happened again like the following week, and it was just like,
But people are cleaning out.
what the heck, exactly? Spring cleaning.
know,
Maybe it'll
I
go back
mean,
and
I put many bags of linens and towels and things.
Right,
in
you
there.
did.
I cleaned out my mom's condo last month.
Right,
I
yeah.
probably put at least 6 bags in there.
It's
So
your fault. It's your fault.
it's my fault.
Yeah.
Oh, and Richard just emailed us. He's not coming.
Yeah, he's not making it, so we're officially unofficial.
I've been to the bins twice though in the last like week and a half with
They're good.
recycling drive, and then someone who was moving. I had picked up stuff from their house and brought it, and they've been better, I think, the Bay State bin.
Yeah,
Let's hope.
yeah, I haven't. I go over there every weekend. I didn't see anything last week, so I guess it's better.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that's good. I have Repair Cafe on here, and Mary in her last recent email said, could we do a Repair Cafe at the farmer's market? Because there's a bicycle repairman there, and maybe that's the right place to do it, but you don't know.
Not me.
Yeah, that's a big ask. A Repair Cafe usually involves a lot of people and a lot of organization and so forth. So I think it's got to be a separate event.
And I think you'd have to be committed there weekly so that people know they can always come and bring or drop things off.
Yeah, and Repair
I think that
Cafes
would-
usually aren't a weekly thing. Places do them like maybe monthly or quarterly, as far as I know. It's a big deal to get, a whole bunch of people to come and bring their skills, and other people bring their junk, which is not a weekly thing, I don't think. But I think it's gonna have to be separate. My internet is terrible. You guys hear me?
Yeah, you're in and out.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll talk less and write more. So nothing on Repair Cafe for now. Coastal Cleanup Day was not on the agenda,
Oh.
but this isn't official anyway, so it doesn't matter. Did you pick a date yet, Murray, for that? Or
That's one of the things I did want to cover today, even though it's unofficial. Cindy,
yeah.
do you know when, shoot, what is it? What's in the fall? Not the craft fair. What is it in the fall? April.
Arts
something.
Festival?
The arts.
Thank you.
Festival.
Yeah, do you know when that is? I think we overlapped the coastal cleanup with the art festival last year. And I want to, well in advance, put the event on the calendar with the Parks Department, since we had a flub up with that last year.
I'm looking.
Yeah, thanks. Or is there any other potential obstacles you could think of to us hosting the cleanup event again?
It ended up working out fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like 20 people. We disperse them around a couple of parks if we need to. I think it was mostly us, Kevin, April, Brianna, and I that stayed at Twin Brooks, and then, I'm sorry, at Old Mine, and Pam, I think you might have been remote that time, I forget. But it's, and then other people that show up, we kind of sent them around. It works out fine.
So
Just
the
wanna do
arts
it.
Looks like-
festival, it's a little later this year. It says September 30th, Saturday, September 30th.
Okay.
Okay. So is there anything that you can think of, Cindy, or anything other than checking with Dimitri and or George to pick a date and a time? We were looking at a Sunday, I think it's September 17th or 24th, to do like a 2-hour cleanup that wanted to start at one of the parks like we did last year? Last 2 years?
Kathy, did they have to move the arts festival for some reason? One of the Jewish holidays. One of the Jewish holidays. Oh, the 16th is Rosh Hashanah. That's a Saturday.
Okay,
Uh,
okay, well, we'll check with that. Would we just check with Dimitri or George also? Probably
Yeah.
both, right?
I think the weekend before that is the 9/11 ride. But you can check with them. Yeah, you can check with them.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's like generally one day that Save the Sound picks like statewide. So we try to like keep close with that. So I think it's like the 17th might be ideal, but we'll check. If we have to push it, they're flexible, so.
Yeah, you can just call the rec department and you know, what do we have? A half a dozen cars maybe in the parking lot? It wasn't even an
right.
issue.
Yeah, it's not as many participants as the Tidy Up Trumbull, so.
Right.
Okay,
Sounds good.
okay, thanks.
All right, and sure. Next on the agenda, I have under pollen pathway, and I have ideas for activities question mark.
Well,
Uh,
I asked you to add this because a woman contacted us and said, I saw I heard about the pollinator pathway in Trumbull. She actually contacted us through the pollinator pathway. She must have seen the planter at Tate Road where I have a QR code. And the QR code drives you to the pollinator pathway website where Trumbull's page is. And she said, who's in charge of Trumbull? I want to be involved. And it's like, I tried to call her a couple of times and I've emailed her back and forth. We just haven't connected. But we really don't have, it's not like a club where we have official activities. So I just wanted to crowdsource the group to see if they had any ideas for pollinator pathway activities around. And, like the Veterans Memorial at Twin Brooks is going to be planted with pollinator plants, but that's the Long Hill Garden Club. So I could direct her to the garden clubs in town, but I wanted to just see what anybody thought about that.
There was rumor and innuendo in my neighborhood about some plants that Wakeman's wanted to donate to the town last season, natives, and they reached out to Vicky's office and I don't know who else, and nobody followed up with them about those plants. I don't know if we can use them. I don't know what the issues are in any detail, but I heard there was some frustration. I spoke to one of the managers, not the owner, about this issue, but I don't know if anybody knows anything about the offer of a whole bunch of natives, including
Dave, who's the owner, did send an email sometime last year to Mel with a big idea about something. I don't remember what it was. I probably could find it. He is a brilliant guy, very well intended, but not very organized. And I don't know if this is a dot to be connected to that. I don't know. It could be the timing was off. I don't really know. I know that he was upset because we had a pollinator pathway event at his place the year before. And then last year we didn't do anything. Mostly we sat around at his garden center for a few hours with signs and materials, and we had like 5 people. So we didn't go back last year, and he was like, what happened to you guys? And I stopped there the other day and he wasn't there. So I don't really know if that was the case, but
I'm not aware of any contact from him about that, but maybe he emailed or spoke with somebody else in the office.
He's in touch with Mel a lot, but I don't know if that was the chain that I was on.
yeah,
I'll look.
I guess the question is it worth following up at all, especially, and could we use plants?
But then that's where I think we get caught up. Is like, then what?
Right.
Then where do they go? I really don't know what the next step would be. You've got, Dimitri's got things that he's ordering for Twin Brooks, and then where else would we be planting them? And I don't really know
Right.
how to connect those dots either.
Yeah.
Maybe just one of us could talk to Dimitri about it, just to see if he has any ideas.
Mhm.
Pam, could that be a opportunity for that volunteer with Pollinator Pathways to set up a table somewhere and give out information, or do you feel like it's not that helpful? I don't know.
Well, I hate to stick somebody at a table for a Saturday afternoon and then have them sit there for 5 hours or 4 hours or whatever it is. I mean, even us at the farmers market, we're really not doing that much. We're
Right.
there. I'm establishing a presence there, trying to get the word out. And we've had a few people stop by the table, but it's not like we're really jamming and we're making things happen,
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, that's the thing, is I really don't know how to direct her, other than to say, talk to your neighbors and your friends and give out information and get everybody involved. But other than that, I was hoping the group would have some other thoughts.
Pam, are you able to bring plants with you? When you do this, do you have plants at the table, or?
No, I'm not selling anything.
No, I mean, just so people know what they look like.
Native plants?
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
Just a thought.
no, I haven't brought plants before. I think I brought a bouquet of flowers for the Master Gardener table that I had last year. I think I bought some native flowers and put them on the table, but
Mhm. Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, it's like if you're wanting to adopt a dog, it's always good to bring puppies.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe I should bring puppies.
If
cute little plants.
you're a non-profit shelter.
We bring brochures with plant lists.
Uh-huh.
That we do. Unfortunately, native plants aren't necessarily as beautiful. Some nativares are, but a lot of the native plants are kind of
Scrappy looking. Yeah. Although he had some nice ones.
Oh, I was at his place the other day, and I was like, some of these plants are gorgeous, but he's a little expensive.
Correct.
A tub of lupin or whatever it was like $30, and I just couldn't do it. But it was gorgeous plants.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if it would be, it would not be appropriate to borrow them so that people to see.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to them. They disappeared. No, I don't know. I don't know. It's a good idea. I just don't know. And then you'd have to return them and.
Right.
So anyway, maybe for next time, when there's more people at the meeting, we can talk more about it.
All right, sounds good. Is the launch for the 1,000 trees for Trumbull, is that still on hold?
Yeah.
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 It's gonna have it, all right.
We're gonna need Mel. We're definitely gonna need Mel to talk about that. And I think she goes away to Maine for the summer. And Dimitri wanted to make sure Twin Brooks was completely done before he did anything there. And I think they're close. I haven't been there in a couple of weeks, but I think they're pretty close. It looked great. I rode my bike through there a couple of weeks ago, and it's beautiful.
They are very close, and it's just incredible what they've done.
The trees look great too. If anybody hasn't gone, you should look at the trees anyway.
All right.
Yeah, at this point they're almost done. I believe they finished the paving. They need to let the paving cure. It releases gases and can't be painted for a couple of weeks, I think. And they've got new speed bumps that weren't there before that need to be marked before they can allow vehicles to drive on it. But you can I think it's open now for pedestrians and bikes, just vehicles. It's going to be just a little bit longer for safety reasons. And I think we're going to be good to go. So we are really close.
It was my favorite park before, and it just looks amazing now.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I can't believe it. I just can't get over it myself, the changes they've made. Really, it's really impressive. It's just beautiful.
I used to sneak in there on weekends and walk through the construction and just watch it go, because I was fascinated in how things work and what they were doing there. And it took a long time, but you could see that things were changing, and how it was changing was fascinating.
Cool. All right. Getting close to the end here. I got farmer's market on the agenda. What do you say? Who's going to man/woman the tables?
Well, I am definitely.
You are.
I'm going to be there this week for Master Gardener, and I have volunteers coming from Yukon Extension to join me. A couple of interns and the Master Gardener is joining me at the table. And I have a banner, and I've got all the stuff I need for that. I'll bring Pollinator Pathway and 1,000 Trees for Trumbull materials as well. But then the other couple of dates which aren't on here are Sustainable Trumbull Days, and I'm definitely going to be there. I have our new banner that arrived here, so I have a second banner already. And if someone would join me, that would be great. So do I need to find the dates for that?
I have July 13th. I just put it on my calendar, but I had it in my calendar in my head. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll tell you in a sec. The
I
official.
thought I had it written down somewhere, but I'll join you for that, Pam.
It's
Year two.
July 13th and September 14th. And I
I
think
think
it's,
April's around July too, but I could be wrong.
and they give us a canopy and they give us a table. We just have to bring our own chairs. And, you know, it's just, again, we don't really change the world at this thing, but it just creates more awareness around what we're doing. And there for questions. So, and now they've got new management at the farmers market. It's Mary Beth Thornton, I think, is running it now. It used to
Oh,
be
really?
Peppers Landscaping.
Huh.
So new management. So we'll see how that goes.
Cool.
So come see us. Come visit if you can.
Yeah.
Speak.
Yeah, didn't someone say RWS is looking to set up
Yeah,
food scrap collection there? Did someone say that?
I thought Mary had said that.
You might have. Yeah,
Mary
that'd be cool.
suggested it, but I don't know if
Oh.
RWS.
Oh, I don't
I
know.
thought she said they might be interested. Well, to be continued, huh?
Yeah.
Hopeful.
Yeah, and when I see the guy at the library event next week, I'll mention those dates to him and see if he wants to send somebody or materials or whatever.
I'll
I
try to
have a
make the event
compost
too.
bin. I have a compost bin in my backyard, and I went and finally opened it up to try to get some compost out of it, and it was gross. I'm like, I probably should sign up because this isn't working.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, mine got, I got one of those big plastic rolly things. You put stuff in, then you roll it, you throw in leaves and everything. Well, the rats or somebody ate through the side and they just go in there. So it doesn't really work.
Rats didn't
Is
get
it-
in mine, but I had eggshells at the bottom of it that never composted.
Oh, yeah.
I did the leaves and the scrap, I did what I was. thought I
Right.
was-
Grass and leaves and everything, but it's tough.
Anyway,
Alrighty. Yeah, so the last item I have is on recertification. And I haven't had a chance because somehow I missed this thing, so I'm not, and I don't know if Mary was gonna look at this too, and I don't know if she had a chance, but they sent a
Oh,
list.
I haven't had,
a
I
list-
need a rainy day to get into it and really look at it and study it and see. One of the things that they said, right, Kevin, was that we should try to recertify this year.
Yeah, in order to keep credit for things that we've done within the last 3 years. That seemed to be their recommendation, though I don't, we might be able to get bronze or silver, maybe. we'll
So was the
See
gist
how-
that to
how-
get
at it.
recertified? Was the gist, sorry, Kevin, you're cutting out a little. Pam, on the meeting, we have to get recertified, but some of the stuff kind of ages out, if you will. It becomes too old, is that correct? But some is still counted. And there might be items that we have done since that we can add to the mix, is that correct? Okay, all
Certainly.
right, I'll look at it, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, some things were rolling credits that we just have to, I think we just resupply some information on.
Okay,
Some things, say if it was a 40-point item and we got 30 points, we could apply for that extra 10. It was interesting after the meeting, and Kevin and Mary were both there with me. We talked about whether we could get to gold, and Kevin was like, no, and Mary was like, yes. So it's just a divergent schools of thought. I'm always kind of negative.
700 points, I think it is for gold. It's some ridiculous number. It's 750.
No,
I
but
think.
like the tree program, I wonder what our 1,000 trees and getting Tree City designation, I wonder what that would do for us. How many points is that? Is that 50? So it's like just looking at some of these new initiatives that they've added that we may be able to have, we may be able to get without even doing that much. Kind of like the first year where we had stuff that we just had done, and there it was, quote unquote, low hanging fruit. There may be more fruit.
well, even if it's enough to just sustain our second time in the meeting, sustain the silver certification, that's great, right? I mean, because we don't want to lose it. I feel like that would be kind of unfortunate, but if stuff ages out and we're not doing enough new
Right.
initiatives that match it as a town, we'll have to, I guess, just deal with that ramification, right?
Right, but it may be that, like for the pollinator pathway, I think we got a lot of points for that. The planter at Tate Road is brand new. We could put a picture up, and the new sign I put on it. And then, if Mel or I hosted an event at the library, that's like 20 points. So I think there are things that we could probably squeeze in
Right.
as new.
Yeah, so they're saying on this flow sheet that they sent this Excel thing, total potential points 225, and I think this is for stuff. This all looks like for stuff that we've done in the past. But I'm not sure. It's not clear to me if when it says credit only, does that mean we have to do a new action similar to the old action? Yeah, I'm not really sure. So that's,
I haven't had spent any time with that spreadsheet at all.
I just scrolled right down to the bottom and saw total potential points of 225. And I think, I forget what it is. I think that's good for bronze, but I don't think silver is more now. They bumped everything up.
Right.
We'll see. So we'll take a look at that, and see what they have to say. And maybe
we need
it's worth doing. We don't have a
500.
lot.
You need
Yeah.
500 for silver.
For silver. Yeah, so that's not anything. We're not even close to that. If they're saying we have 225 potential, then we have half the potential for silver. So, I'm not sure. 200 for bronze, 500 for silver, 750 for gold. So we could get bronze. Go back to bronze if we do just these things that there's on the list. But to get silver, we'd have to do like twice as much. Plus, not everything on the list is a done deal. So,
Well, we'll look at it closely.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
back to the spreadsheet.
And then just to be in everybody's bonnet, non-official for the group, but I don't know if you've been paying attention at all to inland wetlands meetings, or if you ever attend, but you know that the developer, DiNardo's developer down in Trumbull Center, is trying to put an apartment building along the river there. And it's 50 apartments and a parking garage
Mm-hmm.
that's being proposed.
Really?
So there's a meeting tomorrow, Thursday night at 7 o'clock. If you wanted to join, but I think Conservation Commission is, Mel's drafting a letter to inland wetlands, but it almost sounds like it's gonna go through to me, just
Oh, yeah.
what I.
Is it gonna be, I mean, there's a lot of paved surface there now, so I don't know how much more they're planning to add.
A lot, it's a bigger building, they're gonna knock down that brick professional building that's at the back and they're gonna expand. I mean,
Yeah.
50 apartments plus a parking garage is a pretty big building.
Can't be small. No, it can't be small.
No, it can't, and it isn't. So I got a picture today from inland wetlands of what the proposed building is going to look like.
Hmm.
Not very exciting.
Not really.
Apropos of that, if I don't know if people have noticed the spur of activity people are doing on their properties and the number of trees that are coming down left, right, and center. I have been in touch with Tatiana about a couple of things, asking, what the story is. I usually call Colleen and ask her, is there a permit for this activity? Anyway, there are a number of violations that have occurred, and I still don't know. I mean, what happens? Are we finding people? Are we not finding people? What motivates people to cooperate or not cooperate? I mean, I thought I should do a Google search on, the efficacy of fines in local government or something. But it's very discouraging to see it. And some of these are quite significant projects. So my question is, how does, somebody who's doing a lot of building or building a new house tear down all these trees and not have a permit or not have, filed an application at IWWC? As planning and zoning signed off on this without, I mean, the list of questions goes on.
Yep.
I don't know if there's anything we can do about this here, if this is something for conservation. We didn't have a meeting last week.
No,
but
I don't disagree with you. I mean, just even that one house on Valley View, the guy tore down a whole steep slope full of trees and didn't put a silt fence up. And I only noticed it because water was pouring into the valley from Valley View all of a sudden and carved out a whole new thing. And it took, a couple of emails from me and somebody else on conservation to get somebody to go over there. But damage done, and not even a slap on the wrist for the guy. So I don't know. There was somebody on the agenda a couple of weeks ago for inland wetlands where they said, oh, I didn't know I was on a wetlands. I didn't know I had to call if I was going to cut down 7 trees or whatever it was. So giving people the benefit of the doubt, how would you know? Unless you were told when you moved in. You are on protected land. If you are going to do any work, you need to have XYZ. And I don't know that that happens.
There was a letter circulated in 2017 to people who lived adjacent to on the setback area, wetlands or a body of water. I think, I've been asking them to send it again. And there's also, the buffer brochure, which could go along with that. And anyway, it's an issue, and it's very disappointing, that year after year, the same things happen over and over again.
I think it's got to be bandwidth. The people just don't have the time to get something like that mailed out or follow up, or, what is the ordinance on it? What is the ordinance on it? And what are the fines?
I mean, the letter explained all that, and I garnered 5 volunteers to go out and hand these things out if we couldn't afford to mail them. So I had 5. Maybe they're still willing to do this, but there are 5 neighbors, friends of mine, who are willing to go door to door and just circulate them if we have to. I don't know. I mean,
can you get on inland wetlands agenda? I know you sent a note to Colleen.
I no. in short, that it's not a forum that the public can speak unless there is an issue. And you saw the letter that I wrote to them, and I've written to them before, and I send a copy to Vicky and Mel. And, they don't respond to the public in that sort of way. You have to be through an application of some sort. One of my issues was related to one, but unless there's a public hearing, the public can't speak. Is that right, Bill? And Kathy and Cindy, you guys know that.
I think that's correct.
Right.
Well, the riparian brochure is being printed.
Oh,
So we ordered it over the weekend, and I have a link for, like I did with the 1,000 Trees brochure, where it looks like you can flip through it, which I'll send to you. I don't know when they'll be finished printing. We're getting 500 of them.
because I think hard copy is, from what I'm gathering, people look at hard copy.
I agree. I don't disagree with you. But if you want
Lex
the link,
just
I
has
could
to
send it.
go
to you.
online to dig it up.
Yep. So I'm sure some of those are earmarked for you, for your neighborhood. How many did you say you needed?
I have no idea. I know we have 400 plus members, but not everybody is on a water body. In 2017, there was a list from the town. I don't know, Cindy, if you can help with this. There was a list of people who were given these letters, who were sent these letters. And I don't know if it's possible from some database or other in the town on who lives on water. We can eyeball it in our neighborhood, but there are lots of there are a lot of streams, and they are wetlands or within the setback. So there's more than just, I can count the number around the lake. That's a piece of cake for 5 of us. That's easy, but there are tributaries everywhere. And then there's Canoe Brook, and
I'm not aware of that, but there might be some way of doing that. I really don't know though.
Yeah, but I know the letter went out, and people were.
Do you know who sent it?
It was a joint letter. I have a copy of it. It was a joint letter from Parks and Rec and Conservation.
And when people move in to a new home, there should be like a welcome letter or something. And
We do that in the Pinewood Lake Association. We have a welcome packet for people who join, and that's in there. But not everybody.
Well, even around here, this used to be a golf course where I live. And if you walk down or drive down Putting Green, there are ponds still from the golf course, and no riparian border around them, and the little yellow sign. So people are putting pesticides on their lawns, and it's going right into these ponds. And people don't know. They don't know. They just don't get it.
Yeah. But I've appreciated you hearing me. Sometimes nobody's hearing. But this is great.
I hear. I just don't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
It's hard enough getting the things that we want to do as sustainable Trumbull. It's hard enough getting those things done. And to try to dig in for these bigger issues, and people complain, that's my property, I'll do what I want. And it gets really kind of touchy.
Right.
I think Mel may know answers to some of these certainly better than me.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Well, team, that's all I have on my agenda. So if you're all set, we'll shut it down.
All right, kids.
All right, thanks.
Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.